Hey guys, what is going on? It is your Phoenix referral partners over here, Villar Home Group, and you got Aaron and Alex here. And hopefully, you guys are having a great first quarter. And at the same time, man, can we talk about all of the noise that's going on out there, right? And I think January we're like, hey, it's a new year, we're feeling good. Clients are starting to have some more conversations. At least that's what we experienced here in Phoenix. And fast forward, and we promise this is not a hey NAR settlement video. You have our promise there, but we also don't want to ignore the fact that then come Friday, you can't open up social media, whether as a consumer or as a real estate agent, and not see what's going on out there and reading the headlines and all that. And so we sat here and we said, hey, when we go to make the next video, what can we provide as value? If you yourself are having any uncertainty, maybe not having the success you were hoping for this first quarter, is there something that we could share with you that we have found success with that you could implement into your business? And so we are going to share 2 to 3 things here with you that you could possibly implement into your business. And so I'm going to have Aaron kick off with the first thing that we have found some success with.
Yep. So, Alex, just like we talked about today, is hey, what could you do immediately to generate revenue that's really not akin to the standards that you're seeing in the market day to day, right? So, one of those things is partnering with an investor to provide immediate cash offers. So, at least in our market, not sure in your market, we get calls all the time. Hey, do you have any distressed properties? Things need work. You get investors calling you, right? So what happens? Immediate defenses go up, and it's such a routine call. Most of you probably don't take those calls anymore, right? So we sort of flipped it on its head and actually found the best from an investor standpoint, and found who is it that actually has integrity when they make you an offer. They do what they say. And it works start to finish, right? They give a fair offer. They can stand behind their word. They make it happen. So I partnered with a local investor that I know that when they make an offer, that offer sticks. It's not a bait and switch, and that's helped. So what we've done is that in our actual local market centers, actually picked up the roster. And Alex will talk a little bit more about this in a minute, but actually picked up the roster and started calling through all of our fellow agents to say, hey, any distressed properties, anything needing work, when you find those, give me a call. And the net result was a couple different deals, so just that phone call through all the different agents within the office, I suddenly have 2 different deals that I didn't have the week before, right? Simply by picking up the phone and calling people who know me, who trust me, or at least have heard of me within our brokerage, for those opportunities, right?
Yeah, and just for clarity purposes, right? Because one thing we want to be really good about on this video is like, okay, great, that worked for you guys, but what were the exact steps that you took, right? And so here they are, right? Like number one, get the roster from your leadership team at your KW office. Maybe they already have it publicly available to all the agents, right? So there should be a roster list of all the agents in the brokerage, if you needed a call, okay? Some of you might say, well, couldn't I just go get that from the MLS? Sure, you could, but hopefully, your KW office has that as like a roster that you can have access to as a fellow agent there. Number two, probably should have been number one, but here we are, is find that investor that you know is a serious investor. If they make an offer on a property, that offer is going to stick, right? They're not going to change it later, try to go and wholesale it and raise the price or ask for a discount. Like we're talking about a serious investor that you have in your back pocket that would buy a property today. Number three, start calling through that roster of agents at your KW office. And now you have the brokerage that you share in common, right? Or you've actually met them in person before and they know who you are. And you are calling and saying, hey, look, I have an investor who is looking for properties right now. And I thought I'd call you because we know each other or we're at the same brokerage. And do you have a listing right now that you're kind of hemming and hawing about because you go, it's not in the best shape? This thing may sit on the market for the next 60 to 90 days. Ideally, maybe an investor would be the right person for this. And maybe what we can do is get you that cash offer and maybe help you move that property off your list, faster than going and sitting on the market for a couple of months, right?
Both those deals were actually pending foreclosure, so we were able to put together a deal quite quickly with those. And we wouldn't have known. I was actually a solution for somebody else in my brokerage. We made it happen. Everybody benefited. It was a good thing.
It became a win-win, right? Hey, you keep in mind, right? If you're somebody who has an investor, right, you could maybe think that everybody has that investor that they could turn to, right? And you could have those agents. They got great relationships with your typical consumer, right, primary owner, and not really have an investor that they can turn to. And you're coming and providing that as a win. And then their client gets that cash offer and that providing that convenience instead of going and sitting on the market. There's the win. So really, we're talking about a win-win-win, right? You win, the agent wins, their client wins, right? So that's one strategy. And then Aaron, I know you're going to share one other tool as well, right?
So you may have heard KW Offers became KW Offerings, right? So KW Offerings essentially gives you the ability to have your own cash offer website. Now, this is related, but it is a step separate from what we're talking about. One is having an investor in your back pocket that you can go give cash offers on something immediately. KW Offerings, if you go kwofferings.com, you can get your own website whereby you can generate cash offers for prospects, right? So if you want to farm an area and say, hey, I can give you 3 offers today, you can use that site. So I've done that. I've created my own site through the KW Offerings whereby I can use it as a prospecting tool, advertise for cash offers. I suddenly have a solution. It's an option. It is something that you're no longer vulnerable just to the open doors or even competing with investors. I have options for you. Traditionally, probably going to make more money. You want an easy, quick solution? I can provide that to you right away. I can give you 3 offers right now. And the system is enabled to deliver that to you literally within 10, 15 minutes. There's a lot more to it, but go ahead and do your due diligence looking at the KW Offerings platform. And questions on it, you want to know pros, cons? I'm not tied to it. Happy to share my experience. Reach out via email, phone call, whatever works.
So the other thing that we're going to recommend to you, all right? So number one, if you can find that local investor that you can really trust, right, to make a solid offer, and then calling through your fellow agents at your real estate brokerage, right? I know we've said our KW office, right? Because most of you are with KW that we're, sending this out to. If any chance you've moved on to another brokerage, right? You could do this with the agents in your brokerage. Okay. Number two, leveraging the KW Offerings that has launched. It's we keep hearing it's currently a community technically, and then probably going to move into just being a tool instead of a community. But great resource to give you a professional dashboard to be able to make cash offers and track that and always have that investor in your back pocket from a national level, if you will, of the way that KW Offerings handles it. And then being able to leverage that to talk to your database. Right now you can go past the agent and that's a tool you can leverage with your database and provide that solution for them.
2 things which you can use right away.
Right
away. You can get started with these things. If you're feeling sort of what's going on, I feel a state of flux, what can I do? These are 2 things you can grab, take a hold of, and do something with immediately.
So the third thing that we're going to share with you guys here to wrap up the video, okay, is the tried and true, right, especially to KW, right, is, hey, reach out to your database, okay? Except we want to give you a message and a strategy, so both a message and a method to go after your database that maybe most of you will be comfortable with doing, if not all of you, okay? So I want to share with you guys, being totally vulnerable right now, I can't tell you how long I have recommended the app Reach to people. If you've never heard of it, Reach is a app for your phone to help you group your contacts or put your contacts into groups, be able to create a message and leverage merge tags while it's still going through your cell phone carrier. So it's actually your phone number instead of like a third party number.
That's a key thing, right? And the Twilio, you've got to use a different phone number. Your clients most likely have your phone number in their Rolodex. So the Reach app, REACH, You'll find it in the Android or in the Apple Store.
We'll share the screen right now and show you the actual app and the name and everything. So to Aaron's point, that's part number one, right? It comes across as sincere because it's your actual phone number instead of like, hey, this is my business line, when you're using Twilio and such. Well, I'm an Android person, right? Pause for all the iPhone comments, I'm sure, right? And green bubble comments. But I've been an Android person, and Reach was not available on Android for the longest time. I knew about the app, educated myself on it, recommended it to those that had iPhones. So Aaron brought to light that they finally came out on Android, and maybe they've been out for 6 months on Android for all I know, and I just went right over my head. That being said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and share this with you guys. But so the website is reachtheapp.com. You can search for Reach. You're looking for a green icon, as you guys can see up there along the top. And Reach, as we mentioned, will take your contacts. You can put them into groups. So you may pick 10 people, 100 people, 300 people, and put them in a group and leverage the app to be able to send one-on-one messages, right? You're still sending each one manually, but what it does is the message you originally created, it'll put in their name automatically and copy and paste basically for you in many less clicks than if you were to do it manually through your native text app built into your phone. Okay. So the reason that we are sharing this with you is, what if, right? We hear about it from KW all the time. For those of you that have read the book Shift, it becomes extremely important in times of uncertainty to become the local economist for your database. Said differently, be the media, be the news for your client. Don't let them get confused, misled, and even worse, misguided, right? Towards really understanding what's happening with this whole NAR thing. So if I were an agent looking to have something of value to share with my database, I would leverage Reach to text everybody in my phone book and say, hey, so-and-so, I know, in the last week, there has been a ton of stuff that has happened with the, this NAR settlement and causing a lot of confusions around commissions and working with a real estate agent. Are you out of curiosity, have you had any questions that you'd like for me to answer? ? Okay. And you can put that in Reach as a text. It will plug in everybody's name, and you're sending those off one by one, personalized to the person from your cell phone number. And you are coming to the forefront on something that everybody has heard about unless they do not have social media or turn on the TV, right? So, okay, number one, get an investor and start calling agents in your brokerage and see if they have a property that they would love to unload and not have to stress about, right? And go to the MLS and sit on the market. Number two, leveraging KW offerings as a tool to be able to have in your back pocket and share with your database and others about getting them a cash offer. And number three, leverage the app Reach to be able to send personalized text messages from your own cell phone number to your database and make the recent media headlines your purpose of reaching out to them and asking them if they have any questions. Because how great would it feel if you send it to 320 of them are asking you questions and, hey, I was thinking about selling my home in the next few months and this confuses me. Can you explain it to me? Now you're able to set appointments off of that, just have some great conversations right through text message. And, you can even pick up the phone if you go, this isn't a text combo, this is a phone call combo. And now you're creating warm opportunities for yourself right now in this market.
So, guys, let me finish one other thing on my side from the investor standpoint. Keep in mind that investor, if it is a genuine, credible investor, they will pay your commission. So don't worry about not being on the MLS. They will pay your commission. Many of these ones, including the one that I work with, they will even pay seller closing costs on the other side, right? They will get it done in the time frame. There's a lot of good questions you should ask these people up front, but find that solid investor. And if you're stuck and you want to find somebody you don't know, I can even potentially introduce you to this one who's in multiple states. Anyhow,
guys, Thank you. I know this video went a little bit longer. Hopefully these are 15 minutes. That's you pick one thing out of here, if not all three of them, to be able to implement into your business right now. For those of you that are like, hey, got to figure out how we're going to put some money in the pocket, some food on the table. Hopefully, most of you are finding success. That's what we hope for. That all being said, if there's anything that we can do for you regarding any of these three ideas, if we can help with any of your clients that are considering moving to Phoenix, or you just want to have a quick chit chat, feel free to reply to the email and just let us know. And we hope you guys have an awesome weekend and rest of the week, depending on when you end up watching this video. And we'll talk soon. Take care, guys.